What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Freedom to Explore. If you don't know who we are, you don't know our journey, I am Quest Taylor and this is the beautiful McKaylin, and we are digital nomads who have set out to explore 8 of the most iconic cities across North America. And right now, we're in beautiful Atlanta.
ACL baby! Been here for about the last month and we are here to give our honest review on what it is like to live in Atlanta, Georgia as a digital nomad. We will be evaluating based on 4 categories. We've got things to do, food, cost of living, and atmosphere.
So for our first category, we have things to do. And there's no better place to talk about things to do in Atlanta than Pond City Market.
There are quite a few really cool spots like Pond City Market here in the Krog Street Market. They're just filled with delicious food places, cute boutiques, local artist shops, all that kind of stuff. Super fun. They have a really cool walking trail that goes basically throughout the whole city called the Beltline, so that's a really fun way to get outdoors. They've got tons and tons of breweries if you're into the beer scene like we are. They've also got a really nice sports scene. Obviously they have pretty much every professional sport you could want, as well as, I mean, we all know how much Georgia loves their college football, so you always got that. We sadly didn't see any concerts here, but we've heard that Atlanta has a really cool music scene. I will say I don't think we came here at the most prime time of things to do. You know, it's winter, it's a little chilly. Most of the things to do are gonna revolve around eating and drinking. I'm not mad about it, the food here is amazing, we'll talk about that later. We didn't seem to find too many like super unique, fun things to do. I think in the summer there's probably more festivals and stuff like that. But winter activities basically consist of eating, drinking, museums. They do have a lot of museums. You should probably go to the Coca-Cola museum because Coke was started here in Atlanta, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it didn't seem to have as many unique, big things to do as, say, Miami or New York, which is to be expected. Atlanta is a lot smaller of a city. So with that, our overall rating of things to do in Atlanta is a 5.5. There are definitely some fun things, some really good food, some beer, some breweries, some cool markets, all that kind of stuff. But in terms of like unique things to do, it's kind of lacking. And also like access to like nature, kind of lacking. They've got some cool parks and everything, but like true nature activities are definitely not to be found here in Atlanta.
I do think that most of Atlanta could probably be done in about a week or 2. I don't think you really need that much time to experience all the things to do necessarily, but you're probably gonna need a little more time for our next category, which leads us to food.
Hey.
So we are indeed in the South here, and if you know anything about the South loves their food. They spare no ingredients, they spare no fat, no calories when it comes to food, and that means some of the most bussin' food you can find is here in Atlanta. So the first thing we're gonna look at in this category is quality of food. And again, Atlanta, some good ass food. Some more real highlights here with Poor Calvin's, a little expensive, but wonderful date night, great spot to go, 100% would recommend it. Number 2, Foxborough's Barbecue. You're in the South, you gotta get some barbecue. And we love our tacos, and our real tacos, some of the best tacos we've had yet on this trip. So some other highlights you definitely gotta stop at is Victory Sandwich Bar. Pretty cheap, really cool spot. Got a nice little ping pong table in the back. Love that, definitely should go there. And Goose Dumpling, get the pork dumplings there. They might be the best dumpling I've ever had in my life, and I've had a lot of dumplings. So the next part of this food category is diversity of foods. So again, Atlanta, very Southern culture, so a lot of the foods here are very Southern inspired, which a lot of times means there's not a lot of other diversity of foods. Obviously you have your standard Italian, your Mexican, your Thai foods and all that good stuff, but outside of that, you probably won't find much more than your kind of typical foods here.
So the next part of the food category is obviously the sweets. We love the sweets, I love sweets. Unfortunately, we didn't have that many sweets here. I'm not really sure why, but the ones we did have were super good. Our favorite, by far, Sugar Shane's cookies. Y'all, these are the best cookies I've ever had in my entire life, and I have had a lot of cookies. They're like these insane flavors. You know, we had like this Reese's cup one, and it had literally like fudge frosting and Reese's cups like inside. Oh my god, it was so good. You gotta go there. Other than that, right here in Pond Street Market, they have got a really good ice cream place. We got a really good ice cream sandwich, and y'all know how much we love ice cream sandwiches. That was called Honeysuckle Gelato, so if you're in Pond Street, you might as well check that out as well.
So tallying all that up, we give the food category a 9 out of 10. Oh my goodness, we can't say much more about the food here. It is incredible. It is so good.
Yeah.
It'll make you just want to nap for weeks, honestly. It's just good.
Yeah, honestly, by far the best food we've had, the consistently best food we've had in any city so far. I'm pretty sure everything we had was either above average or like really bussin'. So that is incredible.
So for our next category, we got money, baby. So the cost of living here is really not bad for a major city. A lot of our food was pretty cheap. You could find things for like $10 to $15 for a meal, which in this day and age, kind of good. Then cost of living for as like housing goes, obviously we tried out some new housing options such as Sonder and Trusted House Sitter, so our housing perspective was a little bit skewed, but from what I was seeing in the market, it really wasn't that bad. You can probably find, one bedroom from anywhere from like $1,300 to like $1,800, which again, not that bad for a major city like Atlanta. And lastly, activities, things to do here. We didn't find a tremendous amount of things to do, so I think day in, day out, you probably won't spend that much on activities, but if you like to eat and you like to drink, that could definitely add up, and that's definitely where our biggest bill ultimately was.
So Atlanta was by far the most affordable city that we have lived in so far. So we are going to give Atlanta's cost of living a 6.5 out of 10.
I think one of the things to say here is, right, it gets a 6.5 out of 10. That's comparatively also to other like smaller cities. I think in terms of like major cities, this is about as cheap as it's probably going to get.
Yeah.
If you compare it to like, I don't know, middle of nowhere, Idaho, I mean, it's kind of hard to beat that, right? So take that with a grain of salt here. Definitely one of the most affordable of the like major cities, especially the ones on our destination list.
Yeah, for reference, we gave New York a 3 out of 10, so watch that video now.
Mm-hmm.
Our last category is the atmosphere. This is a tough one to kind of like break down and describe, because it's hard to like capture the atmosphere of a city. But overall, I would say that Atlanta does have a nice southern feel, so it feels really homey. I think you see like, okay, this could be somewhere that I could chill here, I could live here a little bit. It definitely doesn't have the same hustle bustle mentality as New York or the like vacation vibes as Miami, so it definitely feels more of like a homey place. There's also a lot of cool little neighborhoods, cool little spots to check out, so those give you really, really good vibes. There's lots of really nice places to visit, but I do feel like you can get into some not so nice places pretty easily, so that is sort of a drawback. We have seen some weird shit here. I'm not gonna say we felt unsafe at all, but some things were definitely like a little questionable. I will say, being here in the winter and the fall, it is really beautiful. The colors are stunning. The fall colors are amazing. Just like walking around the city, there's just like red, yellow. It's so beautiful. And they really love Christmas. Everything's all decked out with Christmas lights. We did get to see the Botanic Garden Christmas lights, and that was really magical. So that is definitely a plus side of being here in the winter. I will also say that it is a pretty like young, hip kind of crowd. There's definitely like a lot of mid-20 type people, which is a really cool thing. Everybody's out there enjoying the breweries and stuff like that. So it's not like a college town, obviously, but like it sort of has that crowd.
So factoring all those things in, we're gonna give the atmosphere here in Atlanta a 7 out of 10. Yeah, it's a very homey, kind of southern styled city, and that kind of, just brings me back to my roots being from North Carolina here. And I think as well, it's just kind of a peaceful, overall kind of slow city, which I really enjoy. It's been a nice break from some of the more hustle and bustle that we've been more used to over the past few months. It's kind of a homey city, so if you're looking for something more unique, this might not be the place for you. But again, it's overall a pretty great city, and I really, really enjoy the atmosphere of it overall.
Okay, so taking all of those factors into account, what is our overall score of Atlanta?
Drum roll, please.
7 out of 10.
Ew. So honestly, pretty good for a city like Atlanta. I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I feel that's really, really wrong. But I think part of the thing here is that Atlanta doesn't necessarily have the same notoriety that a place like New York or Miami might have. But overall, with the hominess and the food here, it's just, and also the cost of living really makes this a great place, especially for digital nomads, especially for people on a budget here. So I really couldn't recommend this city more. It's been a great place to call home for a little while, and as well as to try out some, more unique housing options like Trusted House Sitters in Sonder.
Yeah. I mean, you're definitely not gonna have as many things to do or like kind of unique experiences as you would in like a bigger city like New York or Miami, but I think it offers its own southern charm, and it's definitely worth a visit.
Yep. So yeah, I really feel as though, if you're a more southern person like myself, it's definitely a good place for you. If you love sports, can't go wrong. Or you're a foodie, probably one of the best places you can be.
Their food is bussin'.
I know we've said this a lot, but their food is fucking great. So that is going to conclude our stay here in Atlanta, as well as conclude this video and our review of Atlanta. So if you liked what you saw here today, go ahead, smash that like button, drop a comment below if you disagree with anything we said, or if you agree, pipe up. And as always, hit that subscribe and notification bell so you get a reminder every single time we post.
Yeah, we are officially halfway through our 8 cities in 8 months.
Halfway through. That's
go
crazy.
ahead, give our other review videos a watch. Make sure you're subscribed so you see what we've got in store in the future.
Yeah, with that, FGX out.